I just like sometimes I'm curious, like morbid curiosity's sake. I just want to like be in that person's head, like when they're doing everything. Like, do they know what they're doing, like actively? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Nadine Speaks. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down below and give me a like if you're liking what you're seeing. So today I thought I would do another documentary review, and since this is a kind of a murder mystery, I thought it would be perfect for Spooktober to get us in the mood, in the little horror mood. So I watched that documentary on Netflix, American Murder, The Family Next Door, and I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of feelings that I just need to get out and need to see if you saw it, what you thought. Just gonna put it out here, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the documentary, go ahead and watch it so you can come back here and we could discuss it together, because I want to know what you think. And if you've already watched it, continue watching the rest of this video and let me know down below the answers you have to some of my questions and what you really think happened. Did Chris Watts kill them? Was it a crime of passion? Did the mistress have anything to do with it? Oh my gosh, so many unanswered questions, but I'm gonna go through all my thoughts and kind of a timeline of what happened and my feelings. So let's get straight into it. Well, when I was first watching the documentary, I have to admit, I've never heard of this murder before. I didn't know who the murderer was, so I was just watching it with fresh eyes. I was trying to decipher for myself who I thought it was, who done it, and I have to say, I did not think it was Chris Watts when I first watched it. So the documentary starts off and it kind of gives us a backstory of this wife called Shanann. And Shanann to me is just like some basic bitch housewife that sells multi-level marketing products, that thinks she's an entrepreneur, and she's a very assertive individual. And from what I can tell, she seems like a great mom, a great wife. It seems like she had past problems, relationship problems, but it looks like this guy on a knight in shining armor came to rescue her, and they have the idyllic marriage, right? Then the documentary starts to unravel and we see that their marriage was slowly falling apart, and there's a lot of secrets and things that you can't really see from the outside. And that's why I thought this documentary in particular was very intriguing, because you never know what is happening in your neighbor's house next door. They could be murdering somebody, they could be strangling somebody, they could be driving off in the distance to bury some bodies, it could be right in their truck, you have no idea. And that was what was crazy, was when they were panning to the neighbors and you see the police interview them and the little details that they provide to help solve the case. Like,
I did see the truck, I believe it was this morning, because the lights were turned on and I was pulling. You have to be careful coming out of here, because it's kind of a three-way mess if you're all going the same place. But I noticed that the back lights were on. But
that was around 5:15 this morning.
Yeah.
For example, the truck. Oh, that's not kind of the same truck that I saw him drive before. That truck looked kind of weird. A truck can pin you down, guys. You have to be extra careful when you're murdering somebody. And let me just get to that point. Up until this point, they're going through Shanann, and I thought for sure when we found out that they had problems in their marriage and shit was going sour, it tells us, oh, she went on a business trip, she went on a vacation, and then she came back. And when she came back at 2 in the morning. Her friend dropped her off from the airport from her business trip. She came home at 2 in the morning. Then the following morning she had a doctor's appointment, and her trusty friend said, this bitch never misses a call from me, she never misses a text message, her phone is off. I was supposed to go with her to the doctor's appointment. Slow clap for the best friend award, who basically caught her missing and basically led to the arrest of her husband, killing her 2 children and her what the fuck? I want a best friend like that. I want a best friend that's gonna come to the rescue and snuff out some shit that ain't true, right? You want a friend that has the facts, that is there for you when you are dead and your husband killed you. So slow clap to that best friend. She wins the best friend award. Oh my gosh. Then her best friend basically is like, this shit ain't right. She calls the police, and the police go do a wellness check on her, and you see her husband just like running to the door as soon as the police get there, and he's just like all confused and is like, oh my god, where's my family? Like, he just looks, first of all, kind of like barely distressed when your wife and kids go missing, and like confused and kind of nonchalant, which is kind of eerie. Like, looking back on it, at the time when I was watching the documentary and I saw that, I thought it was kind of normal, but like looking back now, I'm like, that shit's fucking weird. And then not only that, but if you watch the police interview that he gives on the news, if you watch it, first of all, I watched it not knowing he was the murderer. Then I watched it knowing he was the murderer, and that shit was eerie as fuck. I'm gonna play it for you here.
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like,
but now that you know that he's the murderer, is that shit weird to you? What he's saying about his kids and his wife, like, oh my god, I hope that they come back to me. I don't know where they are, you know, I hope they're safe. I just want them back. He's not like crying, he's not shedding a tear, he's not showing any kind of emotion at all. Seems like a narcissist that's lacks empathy. What do you think? Let me know. Next, we see Chris, and he goes to the police and he's getting interviewed. And another round of applause for the people who are interrogating him. They are pros, man. They make this guy feel comfortable. They make him feel like, you know, that he can tell them something. At first he reveals like, oh, my wife killed these 2 kids, then I had to murder her, so that's what happened. And the interrogators weren't buying it. They finally give him a polygraph test, and kudos to that girl giving him the polygraph test, because she comes up to him after the whole test and is like, dude, we both know that you lied, so like, tell me right now what it is. You know, you don't have to be scared to tell me, but I want to know. So I just want to square with you though, you lied, so tell me what the lie is.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise. Chris, I know stuff.
And then this guy breaks down. He basically says that he has cheated on his wife, so here we go with the mistress, and he basically killed his wife, suffocated her with the pillowcases, and killed the 2 children as well, took them to this tank to bury them in like the bumfuck nowhere, and then comes back, and that's where we see him at the beginning of the documentary rushing back to the house. So at that time when the police had come, he had already buried his children, buried his wife. They were just sitting there in a fucking tank, dude. Your own family, your own offspring that you created, you put in a tank. And he has absolutely no remorse, no nothing. Like, this is why I believe in the death penalty. It's insane. Oh my god, I'm so riled up. It's like insane. I'm so sad for his wife and his children. I can't take it. So then there's this other little thing that is bothering me, right? We have this guy, he cheated on his wife, but where the fuck is the mistress this whole time? What is the mistress doing? I have so many questions about the mistress. And I later watched a YouTube video basically talking about the mistress and all her text messages, and I'll link it down below because it was super informative and cool to watch, and revealed a lot of things that they didn't in the documentary. Because I'm telling you, this documentary could have been 3 hours long. I wish it was like a 6-part series like the Epstein episodes, because there's way more information than they're letting on in this documentary, which was interesting. And the other thing about this documentary that I've heard is that they paint Shannon in a good light. A lot of the other documentaries, they kind of paint her as this narcissist and that she was the problem for her marriage, when in reality this guy was the murderer that actually killed her. And I like how he tries to blame it on his wife, like she's already dead, what are you doing? So a lot to unpack. First, let's get into the mistress. So we see the mistress enter their life in June. So mind you, his wife was 15 weeks pregnant. Then she went on a 5-week vacation to North Carolina to see her family. In this time, he barely even visited his family in the 5 weeks because he was with his mistress this whole time. So this mistress was a coworker of his. They got together. They spent 5 weeks together, I guess, of passion. And later, when I was watching that YouTube video, they revealed her they actually revealed that she deleted her text message history. She looked on Google, like, if there's a way that the FBI can retrieve her text message history. So I'm telling you, that bitch shady. That bitch trying to cover something. And even when she goes and gets interrogated by the police, she leads on that she has nothing to do with this, that, oh my god, I found out that this when it happened, like Chris didn't tell me anything. Oh, okay, so your search history and your text messages kind of reveal a different truth. Huh. So I don't know why they're not investigating that. I feel like the police, once they have their person, and they just don't, they like turn a blind eye to anybody else could have helped him. But still, like, that's fucked up. I don't even want to go on a rant about the police system, but what are we doing here, guys? This girl might have been an accomplice. She's guilty as much as he is. Like, what are we doing here? She's running around free while he's in jail. That ain't right. It's not right. It's not right at all. Why does it work like that? Anyways, so then we figure out he was actually cheating on this bitch the whole time she was on vacation. Then after the vacation, she went on a business trip, then she came back, and then the shit unfolded and he killed her. Whew. Mind you, his wife is pregnant this whole time. That's the other thing that irks me. Like, this bitch is carrying your unborn baby. So not only did he kill 2 little beautiful girls, I will put their beautiful pictures on the screen right now, he murdered his wife that was carrying their unborn babies. Oh, let's take a count here. That's 2 little kids, a wife, and an unborn baby that you put in a tank and you didn't really feel bad about at all. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I just, like, sometimes I'm curious, like, morbid curiosity's sake. I just want to, like, be in that person's head, like, when they're doing everything. Like, do they know what they're doing, like, actively? I'm pretty sure, like, it was premeditated. And like, why did you do it? Did you want to be with your mistress? Because now you can't even be with your mistress, you're in jail. And was she that hot? Was she that pretty to kill people over? I don't think so. It's called getting a divorce. Like, it's called getting a divorce, and then you can just see your kids. Like, oh, now you don't want your kids now? You don't want your unborn baby? Why are you having sex with your wife still? Like, I don't get it. Can someone please explain to me in the comments if, like, you understand that, like, just a little bit, like, the psychology behind that? Because I'm trying to understand, like, how that could happen. Like, I understand you're angry and you might have done it because you were angry and you were raging, because I mean, I've seen some people do some crazy shit when they're raging, but that seems like a lot to get out of a marriage. Like, why don't you just do it the easy way? Like, that was, like, definitely someone taking the harder way out in that instance. Sorry, that was like a whole rant on what the fuck is that. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't even know he was, like, the murderer until they finally announced it and they arrested him. And you see the best friend like, girl, I knew the whole time that guy was acting shady. And then you see the dog when they're getting all the fingerprints and everything. They were like, this house is too clean. Like, shit must have happened in this house. And the dog was just, like, acting crazy in the corner, their little Dachshund. So my questions are, do you think the mistress had anything to do with it? Let me know. Do you think that it was premeditated and he had all this planned the night that she came home? Or was it a fit of rage? What do you think? And then my other question is, do you think that Shanann could have like said something to him to like set him off. That's what I'm wondering, if she like said something to set him off. But like, what, when someone sets you off, is your first instinct to go murder someone? And I totally forgot about one of my questions. So another thing in the documentary is it's kind of confusing as to when the kids were actually killed. So they state that, oh, like, I suffocated my wife, and then the kids were like, oh, what happened to mommy? Like, honestly, that whole like what happened to mommy thing, I feel like you would like come to if you were like in a fit of rage. I feel like you would look at your kids' faces and be like, oh shit, I did something wrong, like, what the fuck? I don't know. So then apparently the kids were still alive. This is where it gets, so either he killed the kids at home also and suffocated them, and they put all the bodies into the truck and drove to this oil field, or he murdered his wife, put her in a bag, put her in the trunk, or put her in the truck, in like the bottom part of the truck, put his kids, and they were basically sitting on top of the dead body, and drove them to the oil tank and then killed them right before they like pushed him into the tank. It could be either or, so let me know down below which one you think it is. I personally think he killed them twice. So it also says he could have killed them twice. So it says he could have suffocated them and then they like came to, and then he had to kill them again and then bury them at the oil tank. I don't know. Another, I know this like video is all over the place, but I just wanted to add also another sketchy thing about the mistress is we can see in his history that he looked up this certain song, and I'll put the lyrics on the screen, but it says he like buried people in I forgot what the words were, but that was the name for an oil tank, and she's like, you should look up this song, it, you know, it means a lot to you right now. So that's another thing to add to the crazy mistress details of before. Right, so now you know all my feelings about this documentary, all my questions that are left unanswered, all my thoughts on watching it. If you like these kind of videos, don't forget to hit the like button so I know you like them and I can make more. Don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts and if you've watched this documentary, and leave a comment down below if you want me to review any other kinds of documentaries. I thought this was a really good theme for Spooktober as it's a murder mystery, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.